I was standing there and hundreds of people were just staring at me with these blank looks on their faces. I had just finished speaking at my first event. I had spent months preparing. I had put all this time and energy teaching everything that I could. I thought, I'm gonna go up there on stage and I'm gonna leave it all there and I'm gonna sell a ton of stuff. Instead, I finished my speech. Everybody just stared at me with these blank looks. I got down off the stage. I walked back to my booth. I sat in the booth. I had several people come by and tell me that it was a great speech and that they had learned so much from it. But I had absolutely zero people buy from me. Not just that, when I first started my business, I was doing everything I could. I was posting on social media. I was sending out tons of emails. I was writing blogs, but I was getting very little traction. During this time, one of my friends that I had met on Facebook reached out to me and she said, "Hey, I have this extra ticket to an event down in Orlando and I think you would be a great fit to come with me. I had the person that I was taking backed out. I want to give you the ticket." So just like that, I bought the plane ticket, I made the decision, I flew to Orlando and I went to this event. And while I was down there, I was learning all this stuff about marketing. And one of the things that happened, I was at a round table that I paid a little bit of extra money to get to eat with some of the speakers and presenters. And I was telling them my story, telling them about all the stuff that I was doing. And the guy who was the main speaker at the event, his name was Dan Kennedy, he just shook his head at me and he said, "You are an idiot. Don't you get it? People aren't buying the thing. They aren't buying all the details and all the widgets that go with it. People are buying you. People buy from somebody they know, like, and trust. The first sale is getting them to buy into you because if they know, like, and trust you, then they'll buy the solution to their problems." It's a little bit counterintuitive, but that's how it works. That's why story is so powerful. Story gets past the wall that people put up. If you've ever been at a cocktail party and you've had somebody come up and say, "Hey, what's your name?" And then they immediately give you a business card and they tell you what they do and say, "Hey, I'm a realtor. Are you interested in listing your house?" Immediately a wall goes up because we feel pushed upon. But instead, if you tell a story and you get people interested and they know, like, and trust you, then whatever you're selling, they're going to be much more receptive to. So the first sale is really getting them to know, like, and trust you. Dan Kennedy taught me that at the first event. And because you're here, you're on this video, I know that you get that. I left that event and I went home and I started studying everything that I could about how to use stories in the art of sales. Over the last 5 years, I've worked really hard and I've done a lot of trial and error, a lot of testing, a lot of different uses in funnels, on Facebook, on Instagram, all the different places that I could use story. And through using story selling, I've not only doubled my business or tripled my business, I have more than 10x my business. Using stories to sell is the single biggest thing that I have used to grow my business. And I'm going to teach you the framework that I use in this video. Now, maybe you've been trying to figure out how to use stories in your business and you've gotten stuck a little bit. Maybe this is brand new to you. Whatever the case may be, I wanted to let you know that you are in the right place. If you want to learn how to tell better stories, if you want to learn how to use stories to get more leads and to grow your business, you are in the right place. If you want personalized help writing your first story or learning how to use them in your business, there's a button down below that you can click and I will give you some of my time to help you for free. Kind of like my friend did to give me the free ticket to get me to that event. This year, I have promised to help 1,000 people grow their business using stories. Click the link in the description down below to book your free call with me, and I will be happy to help you get started using story selling in your business. It is completely free, and I would love to help you. Okay, let's jump into the training. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to give you a 30,000 foot view and then I'm going to dive into each piece of it so that you understand how it works in your business. When you're done with this video, you're going to know what goes into making a great story and how to craft them. Maybe you've seen people who are trying to tell stories and they're rambling all over the place and they never seem to get to the point. Or maybe they just leave out all the important details. Or maybe you get to the end of the story and you're like, what was that about? I don't really get it. If that's the case, those people are not telling great stories. I'm going to show you how to tell a great story that gets people leaning in and gets people ready to buy from you with no hard sell techniques. So the key is that it has to have some drama. It has to solve their problem, and it has to show them the exciting tomorrow that they can have. So if we start, the story always starts with them. And they're unhappy, right? They aren't able to solve their problem. But they see you over here and you've solved the problem. You're happy, you're excited, you have what they want. The thing is that you have to show them how to get from where they are to where you are. And you're going to do that through a story. Now, the story has 5 pieces. I'm going to go through them with you right now. I'm going to show you how to build each one of them. So the first part is over here, and it's the pain. You want to go through, and whatever the pain points are that you are solving, whatever the pain points are that your ideal customer has, you want to make sure to draw those out in the story. It's what their life is like. So for an example of this, I'm going to use weight loss as a frame for this entire thing. It works with any business though. So over here, I might say, you know, 6 months ago, it was really hard for me to get out of bed. I would roll over and I would hit snooze and I'd say just 5 more minutes. I'd roll over again. And it seemed like I didn't get any sleep at all. And the alarm was going off. And I would get out of bed and I just didn't have any energy. And I would get in the shower, I'd get out of the shower, I'd dry off, and I'd start to get dressed, and my clothes fit really tight. My t-shirts didn't fit the way that they should. My pants were bulging. I had to put a belt on. But it seemed like no matter what I did, I couldn't lose weight. And because of that, my performance at work wasn't all that great. I wasn't able to go on that many dates. I didn't feel good when I looked in the mirror. You're really, really drawing out the pain. And you want this to be about 50% of the story. And you want to go through it and you want to talk about specific instances. You want to talk about moments. See how there were different moments there? There was the moment when I was in bed. There was the moment that when I was in the shower. There was the moment when I was getting dressed. You want to talk about specific moments. That's how you get the details. And what you're doing right here is you're building relationship with your ideal client, because they are instantly going to see, oh my goodness, that person is just like me. They had the same problems that I had, but somehow they were able to solve them. And that's when you want to show them what we call the light bulb moment. So the light bulb moment is when you show them in the story what caused the light bulb to go on in your head. It's the tipping point in the story when you start to solve your pain points and move forward. So in this story, it might be, so one day I met my friend for coffee and I was like, man, he looks really good. He's lost a lot of weight. So I asked him, I said, hey Joe, what's going on? It looks like you've lost like 20 or 30 pounds. And Joe told me that he had found this diet where he could eat all the bacon that he wanted. He could eat all the steaks that he wanted. And it caused fat to just melt off of his body. See how this is starting to get them curious, starting to get them to ask a question. And I said, well, tell me a little bit more about that. And he said, well, it's the keto diet. And what it is you eat only fat. And I was like, man, I love bacon. I love steaks. Let's see if this works. So then the next part of the story is the exciting tomorrow. And the exciting tomorrow is where you're going to paint the picture of what life is like after the light bulb moment, after they've solved the problem, right? So, man, I did this keto diet, and sure enough, about 6 weeks, I had lost 30 pounds. My clothes fit amazing. I actually had to go buy new clothes. I looked great when I looked in the mirror. I got out of bed. I never even had to hit snooze. I just had all this energy. It was absolutely amazing. Now, one of the mistakes that people make is they talk about the journey from the light bulb moment to the exciting tomorrow. The thing is that that's not sexy. That does not sell. If you talk about the journey too much, you are going to lose the sales. Because what is the journey? Well, I had to watch everything that I ate. I had to count calories. I had to work out. I had to do these things. People are like, oh, I don't want to do that. Because imagine you're selling the vacation, not the trip, right? So you can talk a little bit about it, but really the less you talk about the trip and the more you talk about the end result, the more people are going to lean forward. So the exciting tomorrow should be about 35%. The light bulb moment should be about 10%. And that's how you tell a great story. This framework will fit into any time frame. So you can tell a 30-second to 1 minute version of the story. You can also tell the longer version or the really long version. It all fits into this, and those percentages hold true throughout the entire thing. Now you might be saying, well, Steve, you said there were 5 parts and that's only 3. And you're right. So the first thing down here is the hook. And after you've told the story, you want to come up with what is the biggest piece that causes raw curiosity and will get somebody to lean in a little bit. And you want to pull that out for the hook. We'll call it 2%. So the hook is something that is just causes them to have curiosity and be like, what? It's a state break. Because what you want to do is you want to stop everything that's going on in their head and get them to listen to the next 20 to 30 seconds, which is where you start talking about the pain. If you notice at the very beginning of this video, I did that. I said, oh my goodness, I was standing on stage and I had hundreds of people staring at me with blank faces. And unknowingly, you're probably like, well, why? Why is that happening? What's going on here? And then that allows me to start talking about the pain. The next piece is the call to action, or the CTA. Now, if you did your story correctly, all you have to do is put in one sentence at the end. And that sentence is going to be something along the lines of, send me a message, give me a call, reach out to me, click the button down below. People are going to be leaning in so hard because you already identified with them. They know that you have the same problems that they had and you were able to solve them, and now you're living the dream life that they wish they had. All you have to do is say, hey, if you would like results like this, click the button down below. Or if you'd like results like this, send me a message. I'll be happy to tell you what diet to use. That's it. This is a story selling framework that works for all 5 of the core stories that you need in your business. If you want the blueprint for those, I'm going to give them to you when you take action and you book the call with me. If you want personalized help with this, I am offering you a free call where I will show you how to use story selling in your business. Just click the link in the description down below to schedule this free call with me. I'm looking forward to seeing you then.